The Women's Leadership Institute in the Auburn University College of Liberal Arts is pleased to present Leaders Educating Through Discussion. We hope you will take a moment after you watch our presentation to add your own voice to the dialogue on our website, auburn.edu/women's leadership.
You know you're sort of back home when people use your full name, Mae Jemison, and I'm thinking, what did I do wrong? But really, it is my pleasure to be here. It's my pleasure to be here because what you're doing right now is sharing with me your time. And time is the one truly irreplaceable commodity we have at our disposal. But time offers us this paradox because while it's limited, it has infinite possibilities. And it's what you choose to do with your time that really makes the difference. And so I want to thank you for sharing with me your time. Now, I want to start off and get some things over with tonight. I'm going to see how this works. Dairy makes a difference. So I was listening to the incredible performing arts group here, and I said, well, they just told everything I have to say. So I'm going to make up some stuff while I'm up here. But what I want to start off with, the reason why I use that slogan, Dairy makes a difference, I have a bunch of bracelets that say that. One of them's even in orange. Is because we have an opportunity to do things with our time. So many instances when we speak of empowerment, and we talk about women and empowerment, or we talk about having someone be empowered, we think of it almost, people sort of think of it as something, that's outside of themselves. But here's what I believe empowerment has to consist of. First of all, you have to believe you have something to contribute. This is something that comes from inside. Empowerment comes from you. You have to believe you have something to contribute. Then you have to believe you have the right to contribute it. Right? You have the right to contribute it. And lastly, you have to take the risk and go ahead and do it. Right? That's what empowerment is. In many instances, we take our own power away from ourselves because we say, well, I don't know if what I have to say is really that important. Or, should I be there to say this? Should I be in that meeting? And then finally, it's like, what about if folks laugh at me? That's where the dairy makes a difference comes in. And I ask the questions, what difference does it make if you have a place at the table and you act just like everyone else and you mind your table manners? What difference does it make? So I ask myself every day, what difference does it make if, being the first African-American woman astronaut or the first woman of color in the world to go into space, what difference does it make if I act like everyone else and I don't share with you my ideas? So I'm going to tell you what this talk is about tonight, is really about sharing ideas, trying to put things in perspective and understanding why dairy makes a difference. So I'm going to start off with just telling you that I grew up during this time where things seemed like they had limitless potential, right? As we walked on the moon, all of these things influenced me. I was very excited about them. And I always assumed I would have the right to participate. Every day when you looked around, something new was happening. There was a new particle being discovered. Everything was happening. But remember, it was in the context of many different things as a little girl. I was growing up during the 60s. I'll tell you one other secret. I sort of resent the fact that I wasn't old enough to be a hippie, right? But we have to do what we do. But, I played with Barbie dolls, right? And at the same time, I had chemistry sets and chemistry equipment that I loved to play with. As you heard, I was an original series Star Trek fan. And I also love mathematics and science and technology and all of those things. But I'm also struck by the fact that there was a civil rights movement. In 1968, there were the riots in Chicago. And I remember the National Guard marching behind my home, behind this vacant lot. And two things had been going on. It was following Martin Luther King's assassination and also the Democratic National Convention that was in Chicago that year. And I remember being afraid for my father who had gone to work that day. But the civil rights movement in the United States was also coupled with decolonialization around the world. That was happening. We were looking at women's rights, right? And those kind. So you don't grow up in a vacuum. All of these things influence you. Yes, I love space. Yes, I wanted to be able to dance like Judith Jamison, right? Just fabulous. I love dancing, Lola Falana, all of them. All of that was a part of it. And just like all kids, you like space and you like dinosaurs. But these are all parts of who I was.